Yeah, they're not camera shy at all. So day 28, and birds are getting bigger. Something that we haven't talked about is fodder. Like, I am your fodder. Okay, so fodder, F-O-D-D-E-R, is food for these chicks that is naturally around and that they can eat. So let's go take a look and see what we have on the property. Let's go see what kind of fodder we can find. So if we come outside here, watch out, bird. And we come through, okay? You'll notice that we have, take a look up here. We've got, on our property right now, we've got plum trees. Our plums are almost ripe, but they're falling down already. So they've already begun to fall. So chickens can eat plums. And then if you walk over here, we have we've got 2 cherry trees. We've got a cherry tree here, and then we've got another cherry tree here. All of the cherries have already been picked and fallen off, mostly by our squirrels. And then we have...
But what about these fruits?
These are Japanese plums. So our neighbors also have, luckily for us, our neighbors also have fruits and things hanging over our garden here. And these are Japanese plums. So chickens eat Japanese plums as well. They're actually really delicious. And then if you come over here, we've got one more tree that drops fruit. And we have the neighbor's peach tree. So these are actually really delicious. So, but if they fall, we can give them to them also. So the thing is that when you're dealing with, let's go back over here. So what is fodder?
It's fruit that falls.
Fruit and food that chicken can eat is fodder. So it's nice to have a property or have the ability to grow fruit or grow food that chickens can eat. That also takes down your bills, and it also fortifies their diet. So different fruits like these plums, the peaches and cherries, they're all high in sugar content, and that also helps them. You just don't want to give them too much. Another thing that's very, very important, since we're talking about plums, so here, what is in a plum, what is in a cherry, what is in a peach? What do they all have in common?
A pit.
They have a pit, right? So can chickens eat the pits?
No.
No. And why?
That will kill them and they will choke.
Okay, I'm not sure if they'll choke, but they'll pick and pick and pick at it. And I think what happens is there's tiny bits of cyanide, and over time it builds up in their body. So it's actually can be poisonous to them, just like dogs. So that's why they can't eat apple seeds. So anything with seeds is pretty much a no-go on the seeds, but for the fruit, you can take it out and you can give it to them. So since we have all of these dropped on the ground, what we can do is we can grab a few of them, we can mush them up, and then we can just kind of rip out the seeds real quick, and then we can throw it in there and just let them pick at it. And that'll hopefully save your fodder some money. So let's go get some fodder. I am your fodder. Get fodder with your fodder. All right. And just slowly zoom out. Okay, guys, so what are you guys doing right now?
We're picking up the plums to make
Fodder. Yeah. So yeah, good job. So what we're doing right now is we decided, instead of just leaving all of these plums all over the ground and then trying to get the new ones, we're gonna get all of the ones that don't look too bad, and then we're gonna cut them up, we're gonna take out the pits, and then we're gonna freeze them, and then we're gonna use them as fodder for later. So that way we won't waste what's on the ground, because this tree seems to be dropping faster than we can collect. Let me check out your bucket. Let's see your bucket.
our bucket.
It's like 5 seconds of, our bucket. 5 seconds of the bucket's already. So there's a lot of plums. Okay, guys, have fun with your fodder. Okay, so something that happened that Julia just pointed out while we were walking back from taking this quick video that I didn't notice was, come and take a look at the side of this chicken's head here, and just look at the earlobe. Can you see that red, darker earlobe? There we go. Okay, now this is the one that I was holding. Take a look at this one. This is the one I was holding. And notice we just found our first little war wound. So somebody has pecked this girl right in the ear there, and she's bleeding a little bit. So
Aw, it's gonna poop on you.
well, I hope it doesn't poop on me, but we don't want to hurt them. So so she does have a little bit of a wound, so we're going to tend to that wound. But you have to keep on looking out for your chickens and seeing if they have any kind of wounds on their feet, on their backs, on their arms, and if they are pecking and getting at each other. So this seems to be our first little war wound, and we will try and take care of it. It doesn't look too bad. It just looks like a little tear. And I guess being a nurse, I want to throw some gauze on it and wrap her up and make a little turban, but we'll figure it out. Anyway. Okay, well, I brought her inside to separate her, and it's easier to work on her here, so I kind of swaddled her to keep her calm because she's trying to freak out. They obviously don't know that you're trying to help them, and if you can see, it's a little bit deeper than I thought it was, that wound. So what we're going to do is we have to clean it, and then we have to desanitize it and put fix it somehow. So what we're going to do is we're going to use soap and water, hydrogen peroxide, and then we're going to separate her and not give it a chance to get, re-injured. And then we're just going to keep checking on it, a few times a day for the next couple of days to make sure that it heals up okay. So that's what we're going to do. So let me grab some soapy water. Luckily we had some antibacterial. Hopefully that's okay. All right, girl, here we go. I know, you're not gonna like that, it might sting. So we just wanna kinda not reopen the wound. Okay. And then just put some one with a little bit of water on it. Okay. So if you can see that it's cleaner around the edges. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take hydrogen peroxide. Remember to dilute it, 10-to-1, water and hydrogen peroxide. And just kind of lightly pat it on there so it'll kill any bacteria that's hanging out. All right. And then we'll just let it sit and work because you got to let the hydrogen peroxide actually work. The peroxide will kill the bacteria cells. And then we'll just kind of pat her dry with a dry towel, which she doesn't like. Okay. All right. So it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty clean. And she seems pecky and hungry and spicy. She's nice and feisty and spicy. Okay. So, all right. Today's plan is she gets the brooder for herself. Everybody else gets to be outside. And I'm sure she's gonna, being social creatures, I'm sure she'll be vocal and chop it up a bit. But just to keep her away from everybody else, we're gonna keep her in the brooder. So let's put her back in here. All right, let's get you out of there. There you go. Your own personal villa. So, I guess day 28 is going a little bit different than we thought. We were talking about fodder and talking about fruits and snacks and having a good time, but we also can have a little time for war and a little time for wounds. So I guess it's all part of raising chickens. And this is our, let's see, we had eye goo that we had to deal with and open up an eye on one of our birds. And then we have to make sure to watch their vents and their chicken butts and make sure that, that's not an issue. And now we've got some, wounds. And this is all part of raising chickens and day 28. All right, we almost forgot. It's day 28. That's 4 weeks. That is weigh day. So let's check it out. All right. She's not standing on it, is she? Huh. Okay. Just hold it right there. Wait. Whoa, 3.5. Okay, cool. And then go back up here. Okay, and all right, well, 4 weeks in, the biggest one is 3.5, smallest one is 3.1 or 3.2 pounds. So we're growing a pound a week here. It's going pretty good. Anyway, pretty cool. Okay, so we ran into some issues and here's a little bit of an update. So the one big girl that had the neck wound, we ended up cleaning it, getting her better, but we needed to quarantine her. But the issue that we actually ran into was I sat and I watched all of the birds, how they were acting. And the middle-aged birds right now, they're actually a lot more aggressive or a lot more pecking, doing a lot more harassing of each other than the meat birds. So the big meat birds, they just want to sit around and just hang out. They don't do anything. They don't really peck at each other. They don't do very much. So we had to separate them as well. So what we did was, since we have a little bit extra room and the couch that we had, we needed to throw out anyway, take a look. We kind of split up this whole area here and we have the tiny little ones still here. And then we split up the middle-aged girls right here for tonight. And then we took the sandbox from outside since it's clean and it's rubber. And this will be our quarantine tank for right now. And then moving on, here's the big girls in the big brooder. That just gives them space and they can just lay around and be fat. So I'm thinking that, I have not done any research yet, but I'm thinking that just different temperaments that I've noticed on the birds, it does play a factor. So these big girls are a different breed than all of those breeds over there. They just want to hang out and chill and they're going to end up being, you know, nuggets, 10-piece nugget meal anyway. So I think it's better to probably keep them low stress eating and separated. And then we're going to work on a situation for the future where if we do have to grow egg layers, we'll keep them separated too. So anyway, day 28, chicken fun keeps happening. Let's try and get some rest tonight.